Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM, and today I've returned to the Colne Valley Railway, where many of you would have seen that recently I shot a video looking at some of the items that were for sale, and this is the last week of May, and so far no sale has been agreed for this thing, and come next week in June a lorry is now booked to take this thing to the scrapyard. And so I'm back because I can't let that happen, and to stop that from happening I need your help. Now, we've done this once before and we've saved a locomotive from scrap. So this time what I'd like to do is just take out the scrapyard part and save this before it actually gets to the scrapyard. Because I like this. I like this an awful lot, and from a strictly personal point of view, I like the idea of having 266 the bigger and 266 the smaller. It needs a load of minor work, but I think that within a relatively short turnaround period, we can have this back into service. In fact, significantly shorter than doing 303, which needs a little bit more love. Now, at the time of filming this, I have a potential home lined up for this, which is alongside Ruston number 393303 at the Whitwell and Reefham Railway, who have said that they would take this, meaning that there'll be a fleet of LMM locomotives based at the railway. And as an engine that, as we saw last time, fires up, makes noise and puts itself into drive, this is far too good to go to scrap, and frankly I refuse to let this happen. And on this visit I've had the opportunity to inspect the machine a bit more closely. Casting your mind back to Lawrie Goes Loco episode 1, I showed you that a Ruston 165 has 4 gears and a start gear, which allows the clutches to slip for a smooth start. When you put this into start, it vents all of the pressure, but if you chuck it straight into first, then the gearbox appears to hold air and the locomotive wants to drive, which implies that actually this might not be an absolutely catastrophic fault. It could be something as simple as a stuck valve. So I'm asking for money from you, but also stumping up a fair amount of my own. Now, it's important to point out that I am not touching any of the money that we've already raised for the Rustons. That has all been allocated and I'm not going to use it. And frankly, I think that wouldn't be fair that you guys helped save that, and it's not right to use money that you want to go onto those to go onto this. Now, in the very optimistic and unlikely event that we exceed the target, any money will go on to restoring this back into service and the other two. So it's kind of not just helping this one, but helping the whole Ruston family. It's a bit big. Now, I'd always promised myself as well that I was only ever going to collect useless locomotives, and this unfortunately is not useless. This is a rather useful, proper locomotive and far bigger than I'd ever planned to take on. But I have a good team now working, and I'm pretty sure we can bring those from 303 to attack this and bring this back into its former glory. So if you'd like to try and help me save this thing from going to the scrapyard, I've set up a couple of rewards for you. If you donate more than £10, then you'll be invited to the special day at the Whitwell and Reefham Railway when we reintroduce this thing back into service. If you donate more than £50, you'll be invited to come and have a drive of it on the same day under the supervision of myself up and down a short section of the railway. And if you donate more than £100, then your name's going on a plaque in the cab, so that everybody for forevermore can see the contribution that you've made to making sure that this thing wasn't cut up in 2024. So what is the target we're aiming to raise? Well, for purchase, transport and the immediate repairs like to the cab floor to get it somewhat usable, we're looking for £6,000. Which sounds like a lot of money, but when you consider it's not that much more we paid for 303, for a working locomotive that is significantly heavier, this is actually remarkably cheap for a full-sized working locomotive. So basically there's a link here and there's a link in the video description. Please help me stop this from being scrapped. We shouldn't scrap something like this, it's too good. If I'd done a video and it hadn't started, or it sounded terrible, or it didn't work, I'd be like, yeah, it's sad, it's not for me. But it works, it wants to live. It can't go. It can't let this go. So please help me again. I'm sorry to ask, but it just can't. We can't scrap it. I know we can't save everything, but we cannot. Just cannot. So please, thanks again. If everything does happen, there's going to be a really big thing that happens after that. So because it hasn't happened, I can't tell you about it, but it will be a really big thing. So thanks guys, and yeah, A week to save an engine. It'll be all right. I'm not nervous. And yeah, and in all fairness, guys, I hate asking you to help me with stuff like this, but I've seen other channels, particularly my friend JM, when he hit 100,000 subscribers, he revealed his Lamborghini. Frankly, I'd rather have this. So for 100,000 subscribers, as a celebration, let's save this from scrap and let's have a 165. Because let's be honest, that's a lot cooler than a Lambo.